All right, good morning, 7th graders. It's Wednesday morning, and we are on lesson 11, page 44. Today you're going to be learning about the metric and U.S. measures of land area. There's a green box in the middle of your page that you need to memorize. It says 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. 1 hectare is approximately 2.5 acres, and 1 square mile is 640 acres. The basic metric unit of land is the hectare. A hectare equals 10,000 square meters, so a square of land that measures 100 meters on each side is a hectare. Larger areas of land are measured by the square kilometer. There are 100 hectares in a square kilometer. What we use here in the United States, when we measure, is acres. The places where your mom and dad live, if your dad would go out and walk around your property, he would see how many acres you have. We use acres. An acre equals 43,560 square feet. An acre of land that is square measures about 209 feet on a side. All right, to convert between the two measurement systems, keep these facts in mind. 1 acre is 0.4 hectare, and 1 hectare is approximately 2.5 acres. All right, so what you're going to do, we're going to start out with a box. Down on the bottom of page 44 is a box. And it says you get your ruler, and you need a ruler to complete the scale drawing of the square mile. Okay, the scale is 2 inches equals 1 mile. So we're going to say that this is 2 inches, this is 2 inches. Or 1 mile. All right, we are to divide the square mile in half with a horizontal line. So take your ruler and divide your box in half that way. And this whole box, remember, a square mile is 1 mile squared equals 640 acres. And that's what we have. We have 1 mile squared. So this whole box is 640 acres. All right, if we divide the square in half, each of these is going to be 320. All right, so that's your first, number 1 says divide the square in half with a horizontal line. Each half section contains 320 acres. Now number 2 says divide the top half section in half again with a vertical line. So take your ruler and divide your top section. Each quarter section, okay, remember both of these sections together represented 320 acres. If we divide it in half, what is half of 320? It is 160. Okay, so each one of these boxes is 160, and it says, and it measures how many miles on each side. So remember, this whole line was 1 mile. If we divided it in half, each half is a half a mile. All right, and number 3 says divide the top left quarter section into 4 equal plots using 1 vertical line and 1 horizontal line. I'm going to erase this right here so you don't have so many numbers and that's confusing. All right, so now we took our 160 box and we divided it into 4. What is 1/4 of 160? You have 40. Each box, each plot, they call it a plot. Each plot represents 40 acres and it measures, all right, so if this half a box here was half a mile, if we divide it up again, each little box is a 1/4 mile. Does that make sense? All right. Hope you have your box drawn. Let's go to the top of page 45. You have another box. You have another box, and this is a box for the metric system. This other box we just drew would have been what we would have used here in the United States. This is a metric system, and they use, boy, my lines are not very straight. Five centimeters equals 1 kilometer. Use a ruler to complete the scale drawing of the square kilometer. The scale is 5 centimeters, which is about, it's supposed to be the length of this right here, is 5 centimeters or 1 kilometer. So that means over here is also 5 centimeters or 1 kilometer. Make tick marks every ½ centimeter along each side of the square, starting ½ centimeter from each corner. All right, I'm not using my ruler, but it should come out to about 10 tick marks. That's right. Should come out to like that. And you're going to do that on just like this all the way across, okay? All right? Then you're going to take your ruler and you're going to connect the tick marks. And you're going to do it on all the sides. Each side should have 10 tick marks. All right? And you're going to take your ruler and you're going to connect them, okay? All the lines. You're going to have a box all divided up. So, it says, then connect the tick marks to divide the square into how many small squares? All right, let's think about this a little bit. We've got 10 this way and 10 this way. What is 10 times 10? It is 100. You're going to divide the square into 100 small squares. That's number 4. Number 5 says the large square represents 100 hectares. And the reason for that is 1 hectare not the reason. 1 hectare is 2.5, did I write that? 2.5 acres. This large square represents 100 hectares. It represents land that measures how many meters on each side. All right, and what you need to know for that, it measures 1 kilometer, so that would be how many meters? Remember what kilo means? Kilo is 1,000. So if this is 1 kilometer, that would be 1,000 meters. And each little square represents 1 hectare. You would make a little box like this. Those are all 1, 1, 1. Those are 1 hectare. They represent land that measures how many meters on each side. And Destiny, how did we get 100? They represent land that measures how many meters on each side. How many meters are in a...
Because it's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, and you have 10 little squares. So then each square, the little section measures 100 meters.
So this is like 10?
No, that's yeah, because there's 10 of them, and then they're 100 meters each. Because 10 times 100 is 1,000.
Right. So each one represents 1 hectare. They represent land that measures 100 meters on each side. So 1 kilometer is, 10. Yes. This lesson's a little bit hard for me to understand. So if you don't quite get it, I didn't either quite get it. Destiny had to show me what they're trying to talk about, what they're meaning. So say it again, Destiny. So
say what?
Each box
is 100 meters square. So like you made 10 boxes all the way across, or like you made 1,000 boxes. So then each
No, I made 100 boxes.
Good point. You made 100 boxes, so then that doesn't matter how many boxes you made. It's 1,000 meters all the way across, and then there's 10 boxes all the way. So then each box measures 100 meters. Because there's 10 boxes,
right?
And then each box measures 100 meters.
Right. So 10 boxes equals 100 meters each, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each small square represents 1 hectare, and they represent land that measures 100 meters on each side. So 10 boxes equal 100 meters on each side. Basically, on this lesson, what they're doing is they're wanting you to memorize that little green box. 1 hectare is 2.5 acres. 1 square mile is 640 acres. And 1 acre, I didn't write this one down, equals 43,560 square feet. All right, memorize these 4 formulas. They're going to be on your next lessons. They're going to be using them a lot. They want you to memorize them. All right, so in your lesson for today, looking to see if you have anything that I need to help you with. On number 40, it says use 30-day months. So if 6 months is how many days, they want you to use, just pretend that all those months have 30 days in them. That's what they're talking about. I think everything else, the last part of your lesson, number 43, that's just those 3 new formulas that we learned today. They just want you to fill in the blank. Other than that, I think you should be good to go. Hope you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.